Just 2 seasons ago, Newcastle United were a mid-table team with Mike Ashley as their owner, but in October 2021, everything changed. The Saudi royal family became the new owners of Newcastle, making them the richest football club in the world, and within a season, they went from mid-table to playing in the Champions League. And whilst Eddie Howe during this time has done a phenomenal job, I think I can do a little bit better. So for the next 10 seasons, I'm going to become Newcastle's new manager with the sole purpose of winning as many trophies as humanly possible and making them the most dominant team in Europe. And of course, the takeover wheel is making its return to either make my life 10 times easier at Newcastle or 1,000 times more difficult. So this is the Newcastle team we're starting this takeover with, and I don't think it's a secret at this point. They have got a ridiculously talented squad. With the likes of Alexander Isak, they've got Sven Botman, they've got Bruno Guimaraes. There's no shortage of players in this team that have got the talent to get the job done. My only slight concern is Newcastle have got a pretty aging team on their hands, and if we're with them for the next 10 seasons, this is definitely something we're going to have to figure out a solution to pretty quickly. And on top of that, look at how many contracts we've got to sort out this year, man. It's a good job Newcastle are loaded. And speaking of the funds, they've got 104 million to start this takeover with. That is absolutely phenomenal money. And just like always, we'll be keeping track of our top goal scorer, our top assister, and how many trophies we've won at the end of each and every season of this takeover. But guys, this time we're adding something else to it. This is the takeover leaderboard. As you can see, AC Milan are at the top of this leaderboard with 22 trophies. And now it's going to be my job with this Newcastle United team to try and beat them 22 trophies by the end of this takeover. But I'm not going to lie to you guys, whilst Newcastle's team is bloody good, I don't think this team right now is capable of beating AC Milan's score, so we've got a lot of work to do. Now firstly, I'm using the counter-attacking tactical vision purely because of the amount of pace we've got in our front three midfield alone. It just makes sense to hit our opponents on the break. And I am going to keep the 4-3-3 flat that Newcastle are running. For once, I'm inheriting a team where the formation actually suits the playstyle of the players we've got. And after properly messing around with the starting 11, this is the strongest team we can field for season 1. But the best thing is, we haven't even had a chance to improve it yet. And whilst I've already shown you that financially we've got no issues, it's that wheel that's going to determine whether we can actually improve this team or not. So let's go to it. Okay then, wheel, what have you got in store for me this time? I'm quite curious to see how this is going to pan out. Oh no, what is oh no? Sound the worst player in the... Oh, come on, man. We could have started with anything and you give us probably one of the worst ones. So now we've got to figure out which player in the Prem is the worst. Wish me bloody luck, boys. Well, I found him and he's not a good player at all. 19-year-old, 53 overall Andre Brooks, man. At least he's 19 years old, and for 200 grand on the dot, we've now officially made him a Newcastle United player. And there he is sitting in our reserves. I'm pretty certain he ain't going to get game time, but we had to follow what the wheel said, but it didn't say anything about making any other transfers, so I think we're home free to do whatever we want now. And after looking at the starting 11, I think we need a better centre midfielder than Willock and a better left back than Livramento. I know that they've both got a lot of potential, but we're trying to beat AC Milan's 22 trophies by the end of this takeover, and we're not going to do that if we've got weaknesses in the starting 11. And we've still got over 100 million to spend on these transfers, and bear in mind, Newcastle United are in the Champions League now. When they finished top 4 in the Prem last year, I'm pulling no punches with who I bring in. And starting with the midfield, I went for Napoli. Stanislav Lobotka is 28, 84 rated. I've never actually used this guy before on career mode, but that's now changed because for 42.9 million, I've made him our second signing of season 1. And as for the left back, I'm going for Jose Gaia from Valencia. He's 82 rated at 28 years old. I think for the next 4 years at least, he'll do a bang-up job in our defence. And that concludes our transfer window. As for 29 million on the dot, we have signed him on a 4-year deal. And that leaves the team looking like this heading into season 1 of this takeover. And whilst we have massively improved this team with this transfer window, I don't think it's quite there yet to start winning trophies. But you know what, guys? I've been proven wrong before. Let's hope I'm proven wrong once again on this occasion. And we were so close to a perfect start. We finished second in the Premier League, 3 points behind league leaders Man City. If only we'd drawn a couple less games and won a couple more, I'd be saying we've won our first trophy. And we made the FA Cup final as well, only losing to Arsenal 1-0. I'll tell you now, guys, we're getting so unlucky. As for the Carabao Cup, United beat us in the quarter-finals on penalties, but the better news is Northampton beat Spurs 3-1. That is absolutely fantastic. As for the Champions League, we actually made it through to the knockouts, unlike how they did in real life. But that's where our journey came to an end, as we met up against a much superior Real Madrid and they beat us 3-1 in the round of 16. But look at the starting 11, man. The improvement in this team has been phenomenal. And Miguel Almiron was the unlikely star of the season, getting 30 goal contributions in 54 games. That is absolutely fantastic. And whilst it's true we didn't win any trophies for season 1, we finished second in the Prem, the final of the FA Cup, and we made the round of 16 in the Champions League. I'd say it's a pretty damn good start. Remember, we've got 9 more seasons with this squad to turn it into the most dominant team in Europe, and believe me guys, our journey has only just begun. In the overall stats so far, Almiron is our top goal scorer, Bruno Gamora has been our top assist, and we've yet to win a single trophy. So we're going to start season 2 with a spin of the wheel. Last season it wasn't that good to us. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Again, we've got a bad one. No signings this season, unlucky Goodwin. Yeah, great, thanks wheel. And we had 262 million to spend this season as well. That is the biggest mixtape going. So it looks like this is the starting 11 going into season 2, and don't get me wrong, it is a bloody good squad, but I definitely needed to make improvements. I mean, Kieran Trippier's now 33 years old, he's already gone down to 83 rated. Who knows how bad he'll become the end of season 2. And it's the same situation with Shaw. He's 32 years old now, he'll definitely start decreasing in overall pretty soon too. But the wheel has spoken. I'm not allowed to make a single transfer this year. It's just going to be quite interesting to see how this team performs in season 2. And all things considered, I think we did alright. Third in the Premier League, only 7 points behind Premier League champions Man United. Considering the fact we had a transfer ban, we've done phenomenally well. But in the FA Cup, we only made it to round 4 before getting knocked out by Blackpool, so it's back to square one in the FA Cup. And Southampton knocked us out in the Carabao Cup in round 4. Something tells me, guys, that we just ain't catching AC Milan. And this time, we didn't even make it out to the group stage of the Champions League. Atletico Madrid and RC Lens go to the round of 16, and we crash out and go to the Europa League. But ironically enough, we beat AC Milan on penalties and we proceed to the round of 16, where we annihilate Juve 5-3 on aggregate and we go to the quarters. And we just about get past AS Monaco 5-4. Boys, could we actually go all the way in this competition? No, we can't. Barcelona knock us out in the semi-finals 3-2 on aggregate. We were so close to getting to the final. But considering the fact this team had a transfer ban this year, it hasn't gone backwards, it's gone forwards, man. There's only a couple of players that have actually decreased in overall. And Alexander Isak was the main man this year. 50 goal contributions in 57 games. That is exactly what I expect from our striker. We've now gone 2 seasons without a trophy, but to be fair, the last 2 seasons we've been absolutely shafted by that wheel. Here's hoping that 3rd time's a charm, because by the looks of this team, whilst it is amazing, we desperately need to improve certain parts of it. And the overall stats so far, Isak is now our top goal scorer, with Lobotka being our top assist, and we've yet to win a single trophy. But before we go any further, if you're enjoying the video so far, leave it a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. So it's now time for season 3 of this takeover with Newcastle, and looking at this starting 11, we definitely need a better centre back and right back. I mean, Trippier's 34, Shaw's 33, they're going down, and overall it is definitely time to find a replacement. And we aren't short of funds at all. 356 million to spend. That is absolutely outrageous money. But as we all know, that doesn't mean anything until we spun the wheel, and hopefully this time it gives us a good one. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we've had 2 bad ones. That means it is time for a good one. Reunion. What is Reunion? Purchase a former Newcastle United player. That, for once, is actually a pretty good one. And this obviously meant I'm bringing Alan Saint-Maximin back to Newcastle. He's 28, 82 overall, and due to the fact his contract was running out, we only had to spend 20 million to return him to Newcastle United. And this leaves us with 327 million, man. We can definitely bring in a better right back and centre back for Trippier and Shaw. Now, I'm thinking Mazraoui for our right back role. He's 27, 85 overall, got some very good stats to go with it, and because his contract was running out, we only had to spend 50 million to bring him to Newcastle United. And that leaves us with 271 million in the bank still, and I feel like for the centre back, we go big and we go bloody bold. And that's why I'm going for Matthias de Ligt from Bayern Munich. He's only 25, 89 overall, and his partnership with Sven Botman will be absolutely fantastic in the Premier League. And for 113 million on the dot, Matthias de Ligt is making the move from Germany to England. And just take a look at the team now, man. There's hardly any weaknesses in this starting 11 at all. But I don't like the fact that our second choice striker, Nduweni, is 64 overall. If anything happens to Isak, this guy's going to go in place of him, and he isn't going to get the job done. And we've still got a lot of money in the bank, man. I think I'd be daft not to bring in a better second choice striker. And I found Armando Broja from Villa. He's only 23, he's 80 overall. If anything happens to Isak, I reckon this guy that could do a job for us. And with the signing of Armando Broja as our second choice striker for 29.1 million, that's our transfer window done. Which means this is the starting 11 going into Season 3, and I honestly feel like Season 3 is our year to get our first piece of silverware with Newcastle United. But unfortunately, we once again finished third in the Prem, 10 points behind Manchester City. It is going to take some doing to win the Premier League. And we once again made the FA Cup final, this time losing to United on penalties. We're getting so close to winning the trophy every year, but we're just not doing it. I take that back because we've beaten Chelsea to win the Carabao Cup. That's our first trophy in charge of Newcastle United. But we did it by beating the team that I support. I really need to stop celebrating beating my own team. But as for the Champions League, we were in Group A alongside Villarreal, Ajax and Sturm Graz, and we absolutely stormed it this time. But Borussia Mönchengladbach knocked us out of the round of 16 after a terrible performance by us in the second leg, man. To be fair, we didn't deserve to go through to the quarters. But I can't believe with a team this good, we've only won one trophy so far, man. We're doing something wrong somewhere. But looking at the overall stats, guys, I really can't complain. Our front three definitely knew where the back of that net was this season. But the most important thing we can take from Season 3, we finally won our first trophy, and ironically enough, it's the hardest one to bloody win in England. I just hope that this is the start of us getting at least one trophy every season. With the team we've got, we are absolutely capable of doing that. In the overall stats so far, Isak is our top goal scorer, Bruno Guimaraes and Lobotka being our joint top assistant, and we finally got our hands on a trophy. Okay, let's start Season 4. What is the wheel going to give us this time? Max overall, I think we've just landed on one of the best ones. Make a player of your choice 99 rated. That is fantastic. So I now get to make one of these players in our team 99 rated. I think I'm going to take a different approach this time. I'm going to take one of the lowest rated players we've got in our team and make them the best player in the world. The question is, which player do I actually do that to? Guys, I have literally found the perfect player for this. Andre Brooks. We had to purchase him way back when he was the worst rated player in the Premier League. Now we're about to turn him into the best player in the world. And there he is in the starting 11, 97 rated Brooks. I don't know why he refuses to go to 99 rated. I've maxed out all of his stats as much as I possibly can, but you know what, 97 is good enough. And that leaves us with over 250 million to spend on the team, and we can definitely take advantage of this. Now I think replacing Almiron would be a good start. He's 85 rated granted, but he's 32 years old. That overall is definitely going to start declining this year. And if we can, I wouldn't mind a centre midfielder for Lobotka and a left back for Jose Guy, purely because they're in their early 30s and they're going to start decreasing pretty damn soon too. And whilst we do have 270 million in our budget, it's not an endless amount of money. I reckon we'll get about 2 transfers in this window. For the right winger, I went big and bold. I went for Rodrigo from Real Madrid. He's 25, 91 overall. He's got some incredible stats, and for 139 million on the dot, he now plays for Newcastle United. And that leaves us with 116 million in our budget, leaving us to bring in either a centre midfielder and a left back, and I think I know just who I'm going to bring in. I'm going for fullback Alphonso Davies from Barcelona. He's 25, 88 overall, one of the best left backs in the world. This one is an absolute no-brainer. And for 105 million on the dot, we have signed Alphonso Davies, and that is officially our transfer window done. And that leaves the starting 11 looking like this heading into our 4th season with Newcastle, and oh my god, what a team we've built so far. We've now got 5 players who are 90 rated or above in the starting 11. I don't think our chances of winning the Premier League title have looked any better than they have now. I just hope that they can actually pull it off. And that's exactly what we've done. We've won the Premier League title very comfortably in the end, and that's our 2nd trophy with Newcastle. But the bottle jobs ruined the day in the FA Cup as they knocked us out in the quarter-final. But we've won our 2nd trophy of the campaign, beating Chelsea 2-1 in the Carabao Cup final. I cannot believe out of all the trophies, we've won the Carabao Cup the most so far. As for the Champions League, we finished joint top alongside bloody Rangers of all teams. Inter Milan go to the Europa League and Athletic Bilbao crash out. But in the round of 16, we absolutely batter Barcelona 4-2 on aggregate. That is a very good start. And we just about get past Rangers 4-1 on penalties in the quarters. And we've battered by Leverkusen 5-2 on aggregate, and we're against AC Milan in the final. Please let us beat AC Milan. And that's exactly what we've done. We've won our 3rd trophy of the season. That is the treble collected, and that is trophy number 4 in charge of Newcastle. And I'm not surprised, man. Look at the state of this starting 11. I feel like trophies-wise, we're going to go on a warpath. And no surprise, Andre Brooks is our best player, getting 42 goals, 13 assists in 61 games, man. Making him 99 rated was absolutely the right decision. Season 4 has been by a mile our best year in charge of Newcastle, man. We won the bloody treble with them. That is incredible. But we've still got a long way to go with this Newcastle team, and I think we may end up actually catching up AC Milan if we can keep this going. And the overall stats so far, we've won 4 trophies up to this point, with Alexander Isak now being our top goal scorer and assister. So we are now halfway through this takeover. What's he going to land on this time? Saudi Arabia. Okay, what's this one about? Only by players who play in the Saudi Pro League. Okay, that's pretty decent. Now, I've looked extensively at the Saudi Pro League players, and not one single one of these guys can fit in the starting 11, the suspension, or even the reserves, man. I don't think I can bring anyone in. Maybe if I got this early, I could have brought in Ronaldo or Neymar, but right now, there's literally nobody I can bring in. And that means this 182 million we've got in the budget may as well be a fiver, because it's absolutely worthless to us. But that does mean the team looks like this going into Season 5, and it remains the exact same as Season 4, and we all know that we got the treble last year, so who knows, maybe we might get it again this year. And we're off to a good start. We've won the Prem once again, this time by 5 points, man. That's trophy number 1 for Season 5. But we lost the Community Shield final to Arsenal 3-2 in the end. That is a massive missed opportunity to get a trophy. And we only made it to round 3 of the FA Cup before Sheffield Wednesday knocked us out, man. Come on, we got to be battering them. But we've once again won the Carabao Cup, beating United 3-2 in the final. I swear to God, I have never won the Carabao Cup so much than I have in this video. And as for the Super Cup, we lost that as well. Real Madrid beat us 2-1 in the end, but you know what? It's Real Madrid. I can't really complain at that. But we have once again won the Champions League, beating Rangers 1-0 in the final. Bloody hell, Rangers. Fair play to get into the final. But that means we've got 2 trebles on the trot, man. This is looking pretty good in terms of that leaderboard. But looking at the team, like I said last season, I'm not surprised at all. We have got a world-class squad on our hands. And this season, Andre Brooks and Alexander Isak set the example, both getting more than 45 goal contributions. That is absolutely outrageous. So this marks the halfway point, and we've just about hit our stride. If we can keep this going until Season 10, I reckon we may just catch AC Milan. And the overall stats so far, we've won 7 trophies with Newcastle, with Alexander Isak being our top goal scorer and joint top assister alongside Bruno Guimaraes. Okay, the bad options outweigh the good. 3-2. Yeah, there we go. We've landed on the bad one. Sell up. What the hell is this? You're broke. Sell 150 million worth of players and make no signings. Oh, God. We were just doing well, and now we've got to sell basically half the squad. And this confirms that we've got no money in the budget. We are absolutely broke, and like that wheel said, we've got to sell 150 million pounds worth of players. Now, as you can see, our players' market values indicate we'll have no issues making 150 million. It's just I don't want to sell any of them, man. They're all really goddamn good players. To be fair, though, I've just gone onto the transfer hub, and it looks like a lot of our players that we don't really use have actually got transfer offers anyway, so this might be a little bit easier than I originally thought. And after selling a silly amount of players from the club, we've now accumulated 150 million plus in our budget, meaning we no longer have to sell any more players. And look who we got rid of: Miguel Almiron, Anderson, Minter, Willett, Livramento. We got rid of some pretty damn good players. But thankfully, the starting 11 actually remains untouched, which means this is the team heading into Season 6. And we've started well, because we've once again won the Premier League, this time by 6 points, which marks trophy number 1 for Season 6. Make that trophy number 2 because we've beaten the Bottle Jars to win the FA Community Shield. Make that trophy number 3 because we've beaten Fulham to finally win the FA Cup. Make that trophy number 4 because we've once again won the Carabao Cup, beating United on penalties. Boys, this is absolutely mental. Okay, I knew it had to stop somewhere. PSG did beat us to win the Super Cup, but there's still a small chance we could win 5 trophies this year. We haven't checked the Champions League yet. And guys, we've actually won the Champions League. We've beaten RB Leipzig 3-2 in the final. We've won 5 trophies in one season, man. I don't think I've ever done that before. This team is another level, man. I cannot believe what we've pulled off this year. Now, for those of you wondering where Stanislav Lobotka is, I was wondering as well. It turns out he's joined Manchester United on a free, even though I'm pretty certain I renewed his contract. For another news, look at the stats in front of you. These are the stats that win 5 trophies in one season. I still cannot believe we pulled that off. We're now only 10 trophies behind AC Milan with 4 4 seasons to go with this Newcastle United team, you never know what can happen. We might actually overtake them by the end of this takeover. And the overall stats so far, Alexander Isak is both our top goal scorer and assister, and as you guys know, we've now won 12 trophies. Okay, we're back to the wheel to begin season 7. What's it going to land on this time? Wonder Kid. That looks really goddamn promising. What is he? Make a player of your choice. 60 with 90 potential. Oh, that is beautiful. And when you look at the starting 11, I don't think it is that much of a difficult choice at all on who I'm going to make 60 with 90 potential. It obviously has to be Nick Pope. He's 37 years old now and he's already 90 overall. He's one of the best keepers in the game. If we turn him 16 years old, we've got our goalkeeper sorted for the remainder of this takeover. And that leaves us with 280+ million to spend on the team. We're going to have a fun transfer window. Now, when you look at the squad, we are actually quite fortunate because majority of our first team players are actually still in their 20s, meaning we've got a relatively young squad considering how far into career mode we are. But we've got the likes of Bruno Guimaraes and Mazraoui, who are 31 years old, and also Joelinton, who are 32 years old, so there's definitely still players who are getting on a bit. So I feel like we use this money solely for the purpose of finding successors for Bruno Guimaraes, Mazraoui, and also Joelinton. Now, starting with the right back, I went for Rico Lewis. He's 24, 86 overall. He was playing for Manchester United in this save, but not anymore because for 81.6 million, he's the latest addition to Newcastle United. And that still leaves us with 199 million to spend on 2 midfielders, and I think I know just the players to bring in. First, I'm going for the Dutch giant Gravenberch from Atletico Madrid. He's 27, 87 overall, and the best part is his contract's running out, meaning we'll get him cheap as chips. And finally, I'm going for Pablo Barrios from AC Milan. He's 26, 86 rated. I think him alongside Gravenberch will be the perfect successors to Bruno Guimaraes and Joelinton. And for the combined total of 150 million on the dot, we have signed both of those players, and that is our transfer window done. And that leaves the team looking like this heading into season 7. And as you can see, Gravenberch has already made his way into the starting 11, so that's a great transfer straight away. Now, I don't think this team's going to have quite as good a season as it did last year. We won 5 trophies, for goodness sake. I don't think I've ever pulled that off. But that doesn't mean I want this team to slouch off now. I definitely want to win at least 3 trophies once again for season 7. And so far, they aren't disappointing me. We've once again won the Premier League, this time by 11 points, man. We are leaving the rest of the Premier League for dead. And what's actually more impressive is Nottingham Forest actually finished 3rd. Fair play to them. And we won our 2nd trophy of the season, beating Man United 2-1 in the FA Community Shield final. But we lost against West Ham in the FA Cup final, man. That's such a missed opportunity to get the treble. But don't worry, because we've won the Carabao Cup, beating Arsenal 3-2 in the final. I cannot believe how many times we've actually won the Carabao Cup in this video so far. And this is yet another missed opportunity. AC Milan, ironically enough, beat us to win the Super Cup, and if we want to catch up with them, we've got to be winning competitions like the Super Cup. And we've also choked the Champions League, man. Madrid beat us 6-5 on penalties. We did win the treble, but we definitely could have won 5 trophies again, as crazy as that sounds. And honestly, with the team we've got right now, I feel like winning the treble isn't good enough anymore. We should be aiming for at least 4 trophies per season from now on. But just look at our front 3 stats, man. It's absolutely insane how many goals we're getting from them 3 alone. We're getting closer and closer to catching up with AC Milan on that leaderboard, but from now until the end of this takeover, we have to be on the top of our game. In the overall stats so far, we've won 15 trophies, with Alexander Isak being our top goal scorer and top assister. So it's now time for season 8 with Newcastle, and I've just realised that last year when I was making transfers, I made a little bit of an error. As you can see, we've got a 64 rated keeper in Max Thompson. It just so happens that he's our 2nd choice goalkeeper. The good news is, though, our team is looking pretty damn decent. Almost everybody in the starting 11 is 90 rated. Everything is looking up. And we've also got 290 million to spend on players, but we haven't spun that wheel yet, so we don't know what we can actually do. So with that being said, let's spin the wheel. We've got 1 good option to 2 bad. Oh god, we've got a bad one. Butterfingers, what's this? Make your highest rated outfield player a goal. Oh my god, that's worse than releasing him. And as you can see, Andre Brooks is now a goalkeeper, and I completely forgot about the fact all of his stats are maxed out, so he's now a 97 rated keeper. So what could have been incredibly bad has turned out to be amazing. So whilst I was just moaning about the fact Max Thompson was our 2nd choice keeper, Nick Pope, who's 91 overall and 17 years old, is now our 2nd choice keeper. It's funny how life works, isn't it? And we've still got 290 million to spend on the team, man. That is absolutely phenomenal. We may may actually catch AC Milan after all. Now, I'm on the squad up, and as you can see, we've got Matthias De Ligt, we've got Sven Botman, and then we've got Alex Murphy, who's a 71 rated centre-back. We've got literally no squad depth when it comes to our centre-back role, so I think we've got to sort that out. And we need a midfielder to be Bruno Guimaraes' successor. Now, I know last year we brought Gravenberch and Pablo Barrios into the team, but that's two midfielders. We need one more to make sure that we've got a replacement for Guimaraes. Now, for Bruno's successor, I'm going big and bold. I'm going Enzo Fernandez, World Cup winner himself. He's 29, 89 overall, and because his contract was running out, we only had to spend 75.5 million to bring him from Chelsea to Newcastle United. And I'm going for Levi Colwill as our backup centre-back. He's 27, 85 overall, he's got a ton of Premier League experience. This one legitimately just makes sense. And for 50 million on the dot, the transfer was done and dusted just like that. And that leaves us with 141 million in our budget, and this has made me revisit the teams to see if we can further improve it. And I've realised there's one position that we definitely do need to improve, and that's our left winger role in Gordon. You've got to remember, Andre Brooks, when he was in that left winger role, was bringing in 40 plus goal contributions per season, and Gordon definitely isn't capable of doing that. So I say we spend the rest of this money on a left winger, and I think I know just the player for the job. I'm going for Phil Foden from Man City. He's 30 years old now, he's 90 rated. I genuinely cannot think of anybody better to go onto that left hand side of the pitch. And for 120 million on the dot, he is our final signing of season 8, and that's our transfer window done. And now the starting 11 looks like this heading into season 8, and not only does the starting 11 look good, just look at the subs bench, man. There's not one single area of weakness we've got in this team now. Last year we got the treble with this team, but with the improvements we've made, I'm definitely gunning for a 5-trophy season once again. And we are once again off to a good start. We've won the Premier League, this time by 24 points, almost getting a Centurion season, man. We were so close to it. And there's the second trophy of the season as we've beaten West Ham 4-2 in the Community Shield final. Made that trophy number 3 because we've won the FA Cup, but this time we only made it to round 3 of the Carabao Cup. That is actually our worst performance so far in the Carabao Cup so far. You know what? I'm not fussed at that. But we've just won our 4th trophy of the season, beating Barcelona 1-0 in the Champions League final. We're winning quadruples for bloody fun lately, aren't we? But I'm not surprised, man. Look at this state of this team. It's absolutely phenomenal. And the stats are just as good. Look at Rodrigo and Isak, for God's sake. And what's better, a goalkeeper in Andre Brooks got 9 goals and 18 assists in 59 games for a goalkeeper, man. What can you say to that? We've now got 2 seasons left in charge of this Newcastle United team, so here's hoping that the remaining time we've got left with them is just as successful as this season was. And the overall stats so far, we've got 19 trophies won. Alexander Isak is our top goal scorer, and believe it or not, goalkeeper Andre Brooks is our top assister. Okay, season 9, we've got 1 really good and 1 really bad, and it looks like we're going to the really bad one first. Bad luck. Make your best player 0 rated and make no signings. Oh God, you know what that means, don't you, boys? It means Andre Brooks has gone from a 99 rated keeper to a 1 overall player. That's heartbreaking, man. He legit went from being the worst player in the Premier League to the best player in the world to the best goalkeeper in the world to the worst player in the world. What a journey. And we've got over $500 million in our budget, but because we're not allowed to make any signings, that may as well be a fiver because we can't spend a penny of it. And that means the starting 11 looks like this going into season 9, and as you can see, guys, Nick Pope has once again reclaimed his spot in the starting 11. And that also means Thompson is now our second choice keeper once again. It's funny how that's just gone full circle. But just because we haven't got a 99 rated keeper anymore doesn't mean for a second I'm expecting any less success this season. I'm definitely expecting at least 4 trophies once again. And once again, it's a great start. We've won the Premier League by 24 points yet again. And honestly, at this point, I've lost track how many times we've actually won the Premier League title. And we've won our second trophy of the season, beating Man City 3-1 in the Community Shield final too. And this time, Birmingham City knocked us out of the FA Cup in round 6. Come on, man. Birmingham City, really? But we have once again won the Carabao Cup, getting our 3rd trophy this season and successfully getting the treble. But we didn't win the Super Cup. That is a massive opportunity missed to gain another trophy. And we had an abysmal Champions League. We made it to the round of 16 before getting absolutely shafted by Real Madrid. Oh my God. I've got to admit, guys, even though the team is phenomenal, I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought for sure we should have at least got 4 trophies this year. And when you look at the stats, it's clear to see that Rodrigo and Alexander Isak are legitimately quietly carrying this Newcastle United team in terms of goals and assists. But taking a quick look at the leaderboard, we are level on trophies with AC Milan, so all we need to do next year is win one trophy and Newcastle United go top of the leaderboard. The question is, guys, are we going to pull off another season like this one next year, or are we going to massively flop and choke when it matters the most? In the overall stats so far, Isak is both our top goal scorer and assister, and we've won 22 trophies with Newcastle United so far. So we're going to start season 10 by spinning the wheel. There's only one option left on it, which means we're landing on Takeover, which does mean we're adding 100 million to our existing budget. Now, considering the fact we are one trophy away from taking over AC Milan on that leaderboard, this is absolutely perfect. And now we've got 507 million in our budget for the final season of this Takeover, man. Let's make every single penny count. Now, to be honest, guys, we're going to be hard-pressed finding players at this stage in career mode to go into the starting 11, so I feel like we just focus our money on the subs bench. Maybe a better second choice striker than Broha, a centre midfielder for Joelinton, definitely a better goalkeeper than Thompson, and maybe a better centre-back than Colwell. I know I just said let's make every penny count, but apart from those four positions I just mentioned, I don't see where we can put that money into the starting 11 at this stage in career mode. Now, I've gone for Matthias Hartmann to begin our transfer window. He's only 25, he's 88 overall. He'd be the perfect second choice keeper to nip Popen for 101.4 million. He's our first transfer for season 10. And that still leaves us with over 400 million to spend, and we've only got 3 players to bring in, bear in mind. And one of those players is Federico Valverde from Real Madrid. I know he's 34 years old, but he's 90 overall, man. He's absolutely fantastic, and I want him in this team. I'm then going for William Saliba. He's 31, he's 89 overall, he's got a ton of Premier League experience, and he'll be the perfect second choice centre-back between Sven Botman and Matthias de Ligt. And finally, I'm going for Kylian Mbappe for our second choice striker. Granted, he's 33 years old and he's 94 overall, and you know what? It's season 10 of this Takeover, why not? And for the combined total of 270 million on the dot, we have signed all of these players to Newcastle United, and that's our final transfer window done of this 10-season Takeover. And now the starting 11 looks like this going into season 10, and let's go away from the starting 11 for a minute. Just look at the subs bench, for goodness sake. When Mbappe is the second choice striker, you know you've got a good team. Now, we've only got to win one more trophy to take over AC Milan on the leaderboard. I personally think we can get 3 or 4 at least once again, but it's up to these boys on the pitch to prove me right. And Newcastle have done it. They won the Premier League by 5 points. That's their 23rd trophy of this Takeover. They are now first on the leaderboard. Now it's just a case of how many trophies they've actually won this year, because they could set a pretty impressive record. Well, that's a missed opportunity. The Bottle Jobs beat us in the Community Shield final, man. I cannot believe the Bottle Jobs beat us. But we have got the double because we won the FA Cup beating Palace 2-1 to do it. And we've got the treble because we beat Brentford 3-1 in the Carabao Cup final. This is looking pretty damn promising. But we crash out of the Champions League in the semi-finals, man. That's gutting. It would have been amazing to win the Champions League in our final season of this Takeover. But it's official. Newcastle United go top of the Takeover leaderboard with 25 trophies. The question is, what team is actually going to top 25 trophies? And this is the team that did it. And I'll be honest, guys, I thought we built a strong team with AC Milan, but this one is absolutely incredible. It's going to take some doing to beat those 25 trophies that these guys have won. And just look at the stats, man. I'm so happy with our front three, especially Rodrigo getting 53 goal contributions in 64 games. What a signing he turned out to be. But that is the end of this Takeover. If you enjoyed, leave it a big old thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. If you want to see another video that I've done, click right here to watch this one.